Hey everybody, it's Anna. Time for the final card in this week's tarot story. We close with the Eight of Swords reversed. Yesterday we had the Eight of Cups, and I talked about how the number 8 is connected to feeling empowered and in flow and to having high momentum. So we are closing this week with 2 8 cards. Cups are connected to the heart, swords are connected to the mind. So here we're forming an alliance, which is really good for us, between the heart and the mind. So we look at this image where you might think at first it looks like disempowerment. The woman is tied up and blindfolded in a cage of swords, but it's an 8 cards. That tells us that even though it might look like it's about disempowerment, it is really about power. The reason this is because swords are about the mind, which means that the source of her entrapment is actually the source of her freedom. The mind creates structures and meanings, and then because it creates them, it can always disassemble them if they don't work for us anymore, right? So the image here shows the woman bound, but the bindings are very loose, suggesting to me that if she just wiggles a little, she will get free. And that also connects to the mind. If the mind can get flexible, if it can challenge itself, if it can look at something from a different perspective, it can free itself from these rigid understandings of how things are supposed to work, these beliefs, these ideas, free itself up from that, get free, take off its blindfold, and then choose the path that it wants. The mind creates the cage, the mind disassembles the cage. And actually, that's what I think the reversal is about. The mind is being encouraged to disassemble the cage that it's been living in. So this week, we've been looking at several lessons sort of reinforcing the idea that we're functioning in the world potentially in a way that's creative and effective and impactful, but doesn't quite match who we are called to be. We are making some kind of compromises around how we are showing up in the world. And this does not invalidate what we're doing, because as I just said, as your gifts are always in flow and they're always doing good things in the world. It's just that we're capable of something even more impactful, even more authentic, and even more unique that really only we can bring into the world. And that's why it's important for us to pay attention to that. So even though we're doing good things, there are other things we could do. So yesterday's card, as I said, was the Eight of Cups, the spiritual seeking card. We're following our heart to find the treasure in the wilderness. Well, today's card is like we're getting the mind to unmake any structures or ideas that are getting in the way of this shift. We're questioning what we're doing. We're reflecting on what we're doing. And we're contemplating whether it matches. We're contemplating what part of what we're doing is in compromise. And then following our heart to guide us to what the new thing is, and then anything that contradicts the new thing, we're going to ask our mind to unmake it and recreate a structure that matches us. The mind can do this because the mind is powerful. It's the one that created the structure. It can create a new structure anytime it wants. Helping the mind realize it's not a victim to its own structures is really helpful. The mind can sometimes get the impression when it repeats a structure or a belief system over and over again that it is subject to that belief system, but actually that belief system is subject to the mind. The mind created it. The mind can uncreate it, recreate it, do whatever it wants. It can pick out and fashion a structure, a support system that matches everything we need it to be. And when that happens, the mind becomes a powerful ally. That's our final card for this week. See you next time. Bye.